Hello YouTube, it is Drunk Monk 74 here, and I am bringing you some gameplay from Sector Control. And I just want to say, first off, I'm playing with one of my platoon members, Pazuzu, and it was a real pleasure playing with him. I don't often get to play with this guy too often, and yeah, we did okay. And this video basically is all about our three rules that we try to stick to in our platoon, and the reason those rules are there is not just because VoIP doesn't work. You know, obviously it doesn't work. It makes communication hard. It sort of like makes it hard for you to decide what you're going to be doing as a fire team or as a team if you can't talk to each other. But the main reason it's there is just to be good team players. And it just so happens, like if you stick to these kind of rules, you tend to do all right, whether VoIP is working or not, basically. So that's what this is about. We played about 3, 4, 5 games, and we finished top 5 team every time. And obviously VoIP is still an issue in this game, but the other factor was Pazuzu actually doesn't have a mic. He doesn't play with a mic, so he can hear me. I was communicating. I think I was trying to talk as much as I could. It's one area I know I've got to work on anyway, because I know when I start getting into a firefight, I still don't talk enough and stuff. I go a bit quiet. I start trying to focus on on where I'm firing. As you can see, I'm not always the best shot, so I do have to concentrate a little bit sometimes. Yeah, it was, even though VoIP was working for me and I could chat and he could hear me, he doesn't actually have a mic, so I wasn't able to communicate with him really at all. So it was really important, more than ever really, like when you're playing with someone like that, that you actually stick to these rules. Maybe other platoons have got something similar, maybe not quite the same, but basically these are just 3 rules that we try to stick to as a platoon when we buddy up with each other. So the first rule is always take cover. When you can see your fire team buddy is trying to spawn in, don't try and be a hero, don't try and be John Rambo, don't go running in and charging into an area thinking you can clear the whole area for your buddy before he spawns in. There will be the odd occasion where it works out fine. You manage to clear out the area, and when your fire team buddy spawns in, he's got a nice, safe, secure area to spawn into, and you can move on from there. But generally speaking, you're not gonna be that lucky. You go around the corner, you pop your head out, and if there's 3 or 4 guys there, you will get taken out. It's just the nature of this game. It's why people enjoy this game. It really is why people enjoy this game. So yeah, that's the first rule. Always take cover. If you can see, keep an eye on your screen. Try and see when your fire team buddy's spawning in. When you see that little green bar, grey bar, pop up, then you're good. Stay there. If that bar's red, you really need to get to some cover and really help your fire team buddy out. You guys can do so much better as a fire team than anyone can do solo on this game. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2, equally as important for the person who. So the first one's for the person who's still in game, and the person who's spawning in is relying on that person to sort of help them out, make sure there's room, and they've taken cover for them to come in. Rule number 2 is for the person who is spawning in, and we have this rule basically because as soon as your fire team buddy spawns in, as soon as he spawns in, you're going to want to, and this, by the way, here is a prime example of what not to do. That's what happens. I was a woeful fire team buddy there, and I apologise to Pazuzu. I got a little rush of blood right there, and I thought I could take all 3 of those guys out, John Rambo style, and be a nice little hero, and get all the kills before my buddy spawned in. Really selfish play, and I apologise to Pazuzu for that. Sorry, going back to rule number 2. Rule number 2 is all about heal and resupply. So when you spawn in on your fire team buddy, hopefully your fire team buddy's taking a bit of cover. He's ducked behind something when he can see you're about to spawn in. So he's taken cover, a bit like I have just now. So I know Pazuzu can now spawn in. So as soon as he spawns in, I expect him to heal and resupply. And the reason for that is, when you spawn in, it's going to take you a few seconds to get your bearings. And so in that few seconds, really, you want your fire team buddy to be covering you. The last thing your fire team buddy wants to be worrying about is running up to you or taking a few seconds, because sometimes that's all it takes to really get hammered. He doesn't want to worry for those few seconds pressing a square button. I play on PS3, so it's square for me. Just to get like a heal or a resupply. That's not what he wants. That's not ideal at all. Not in any way is that ideal for your fire team buddy to be doing that. When he's taken a bit of cover, he's tried to get safe for you, and he should be providing cover for you. He should be keeping an eye out, trying to provide you with cover, so you've got a safe place to spawn into. Your job when you spawn in, the very first thing you do, heal and resupply every single time. There is never an excuse for you not to do that, because anyone who's played Warfire knows that as soon as you spawn in, it just takes a few seconds for you to get your bearings, to work out where you are, where you've been spawned into, what position you've been spawned into, which area of the map you're in. You're not always like right on your buddy's tail, so your buddy might be somewhere completely different from where you were when you died, and when you spawn in, you got to then work out where he is. So there's nothing stopping you in that those few seconds it's taking you to get your bearings, to work out where you are. There's nothing stopping you. There should be nothing stopping you. Like hitting that square button and getting that heal and resupplying on your buddy. So that's rule number 2. Rule number 3 and the final rule is, if you can, like especially if you're playing as a tight fire team and you're trying to keep tight to each other, rule number 3 is heal and resupply after each firefight. There should right here I try and get close to him to heal and resupply, but I'm not sure where what's coming, so I try not to get too tight. The other thing is, because you can't bunch up all the time, so you can't bunch up too tight, because one grenade, one lucky sniper shot, something, it can take the pair of you out. So I try not to be bunched up too much sometimes. And then other times, it's nice if you can flank. If you trust your fire team buddy, he can take one side, you can take the other, and you're not going to get flanked that way. And you can also flank the enemy. So, but if you are close, if you are working as a tight fire team, after every firefight, just heal, resupply. Even if you don't need health, just resupply. You'll always need bullets after a firefight, and it just stops any. At any point when you might forget about it, you might not think about it, you don't realise how low you are on ammunition. You've done a lot better than you were expecting, so you've got a lot more kills than you were expecting. It just stops you running out of ammunition. It's just a common sense type thing. It's a little bit more flexible than say the first 2 rules, but those first 2 rules are hard and fast. There is no reason whatsoever that you should not be taking cover when you can see your fire team buddies trying to spawn in, and there is absolutely zero reason why you should not be healing and resupplying your fire team buddy when he does spawn in. When you do spawn in, sorry. So they're the 3 rules that we kind of try and live by, if you like, in our platoon. It does help a lot, especially with comms and VoIP being down, not quite working out. And I just think, if you give it a try, see what you think. I'm sure people have got some sort of variation on it. Platoons have probably got some sort of variation on it, but personally, I think it really does work. Anyway, that's me. I'm done. I'm out of here. I will catch you next time. Cheers.